Heracles, the son of Zeus and the mortal Alcmene, was born into a world of both glory and hardship. Alcmene, the wife of the Theban general Amphitryon, became the target of Zeus's affections, leading to Heracles' divine conception. However, from the moment of his birth, Heracles faced the wrath of Hera, Zeus's wife, who sought vengeance for her husband's betrayal. Although Zeus secretly fed Heracles Hera's divine milk, granting him extraordinary strength, her hatred burned brighter. Hera's schemes plagued Heracles from infancy, culminating in a moment of madness in adulthood. Under Hera's influence, Heracles lost control of his mind and tragically killed his wife, Megara, and their children. Consumed by guilt and seeking redemption, Heracles turned to the Oracle of Delphi. The oracle decreed that Heracles must serve King Eurystheus of Mycenae for 10 years and perform a series of nearly impossible tasks, the 12 labors. These trials, designed by Eurystheus to be fatal, tested Heracles' unmatched strength, cunning, and endurance. Heracles' first labor was to slay the Nemean Lion, a monstrous creature with bronze claws and a hide impervious to weapons. Armed with his club, Heracles trapped the lion in its cave and strangled it to death. He then skinned the beast, using its own claws, and wore its impenetrable hide as a cloak. For his second task, Heracles faced the Lernaean Hydra, a serpent with multiple heads, 2 of which grew back for every one severed. With the help of his nephew Iolaus, Heracles used a burning blade to cauterize each neck after decapitation, preventing regeneration. Finally, he crushed the immortal head under a boulder and dipped his arrows in the Hydra's poisonous blood, capturing the Ceryneian hind. The third labor required Heracles to capture the Ceryneian hind, a sacred deer with golden antlers belonging to Artemis. After pursuing it for a year, he wounded the hind with an arrow and blamed King Eurystheus for the task to appease Artemis, securing her forgiveness. The fourth task involved capturing the Erymanthian boar, a destructive beast. Following advice from the centaur Chiron, Heracles drove the boar into deep snow during winter, immobilizing it and bringing it back alive to Eurystheus, who cowered in fear. For his fifth labor, Heracles was tasked with cleaning the filthy Augean stables, which housed 3,000 cattle and had been neglected for 30 years. Using his wit, Heracles diverted the flow of 2 rivers through the stables, completing the task in a single day. However, Eurystheus disqualified the labor, claiming Heracles had been promised payment. The sixth task took Heracles to Lake Stymphalia, where deadly, man-eating birds with bronze beaks and metallic feathers terrorized the region. Using a bronze rattle crafted by Hephaestus and gifted by Athena, Heracles startled the birds into flight and shot them down with his arrows. Heracles' seventh labor was to capture the Cretan bull, a rampaging beast released by King Minos. Heracles wrestled the bull into submission and brought it to Eurystheus, who released it. The bull later wandered to Marathon, where it was slain by Theseus. In his eighth labor, Heracles journeyed to Thrace to capture the man-eating mares of King Diomedes. After subduing the horses, Heracles fed Diomedes to his own animals, pacifying them before bringing them to Eurystheus. The ninth labor required Heracles to retrieve the enchanted belt of Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons, for Eurystheus' daughter. Though Hippolyta initially agreed to give him the belt, Hera's interference incited the Amazons to attack. Believing he was betrayed, Heracles killed Hippolyta and took the belt. For his 10th task, Heracles traveled to Erythea to retrieve the cattle of Geryon, a giant with 3 bodies. Heracles killed Geryon with an arrow poisoned by Hydra's blood and drove the herd back to Eurystheus after slaying its 2-headed guard dog, Orthrus. The penultimate labor sent Heracles to retrieve the golden apples from the garden of the Hesperides, guarded by the dragon Ladon. With the help of the Titan Atlas, Heracles tricked him into retrieving the apples before cleverly placing the weight of the heavens back on Atlas's shoulders. The final and most dangerous labor required Heracles to capture Cerberus, the 3-headed guard dog of the underworld. With Hades' permission, Heracles subdued Cerberus using his bare hands and brought the beast to Eurystheus, who was so terrified that he begged Heracles to return it to the underworld. Upon completing the 12 labors, Heracles achieved both redemption and immortality. These trials proved his divine strength and human endurance, transforming him into a symbol of resilience and courage. In death, Heracles ascended to Mount Olympus, where he was welcomed as a god, forever immortalized in the annals of myth and legend.